Nobody asked you to do any
welcome
of that.
back. I don't care about you or anything, so
You love me. You love me a lot.
let me talk to Sierra. I'm talking to you. But welcome back to Black in the City with Makeda and Sierra. And I'm Makeda, the only one who matters, but...
And I'm Sierra, the reason why you're listening.
You fucking right. That is exactly why they listen.
Right. We're on episode Mother Effing 28.
Absolutely.
And what a coincidence.
It's my birthday.
And how old are you turning today?
28.
Oh, it would only really it could only be better if today was the 28th and you were turning 28 and it was episode 28.
No.
Like that would be pretty good.
My golden birthday was last year.
I know. I'm just saying that it would be nice if this aligned. Anyway, as usual, this week's episode is brought to you by
Broken Kids Brand.
Yeah.
So, as you all know, we have some Black in the City apparel. That is on www.brokenkidsbrand.com.
Exactly how it sounds.
Follow them on Instagram. Yes, use your phonetics.
Yes.
Follow them on Instagram at Broken Kids Brand. Also, their aim is to start the conversation of mental health in the urban communities. Yeah. So again, follow them on Instagram at Broken Kids Brand and www.brokenkidsbrand.com for some Black in the City apparel, some other dope apparel that they also have on there. So peruse and
come on with the vocab.
Spend that money, honey.
Yeah. Oh, and in case you guys were wondering, because there is a third person at our table today, we probably should introduce her. So this is my sister, and I talk about her all the time. But who are you?
I'm Hadia. I'm her older sister.
My little big sister.
Little big sister. I'm gonna fight you.
That's cute.
You can't reach. And so she's here to chat with us, in the beginning of our episode, and then she'll disappear, and then she'll come back for all the shit talking and the shenanigans. But as usual, we talk about, how our weekends were and all the things we did. Well, this weekend, we did all the things for Hadia's birthday.
So we went tubing.
I didn't go tubing.
Yeah, because
I was working.
You know what they did? What'd you guys do?
I had headshots on Saturday, so I couldn't go.
But I went tubing because I like throwing myself down a mountain, which is the best thing ever.
But you can't get her to jog ever, though.
Who wants to jog?
It's not enough adrenaline for me.
First of all, who wants to jog when,
okay, so we
you
were
have
talking,
big jugs.
Right.
Like, nobody wants to jog.
It really, really
just
hurts.
because you be over here just running mountains, hey, that mess hurts.
And then
two sports bras hurt.
And then it hurts from here. And then you have chafing if it's not the right bra.
Yeah, you guys start chafing. Who's gonna clean that up?
I can't relate.
Right.
I'm a proud member of the itty bitty titty committee. So
you just forever be
we
a
are
hater.
not.
Free the nipple. I'm not a hater.
You are a hater.
Free the nipple is how I live. I live vicariously through y'all. But I know that God don't give everybody everything. Because could you imagine if I had the top that matched the bottom?
No, you'd be insufferable.
You feel me? So
I just want
we know.
The bottom.
You have yams, Sierra, don't fall.
Listen.
Check it if I fall up this seat. We gonna have a darn problem.
I just recently got a bottom at 28, so you got time.
Okay, girl. I've been hitting my squats. I just want to let you guys know I'm getting pretty thick, so my number is probably going to change in the next week or so.
All right,
Ooh,
cool.
Come on, young thickie. But anyway, on Sunday, so real recap. We threw Hadia a surprise party, if I could talk, a surprise party. And
that was lit.
Obi, her boyfriend, helped me plan it, and we had to do all the plotting, and her two best friends, Denise and Christine, and three best friends, and Dorianne, helped plan it all, right? And my sister is the most frustrating human to have ever walked the face of the earth.
That is so very
nice. But you're not detail oriented until you want to be detail oriented. So my sister, I couldn't do anything before Sunday because my sister is very nosy, right? So we got all this food, but we had to wait till Sunday to get it because she was coming to my house on Saturday, and the first thing that she does when she gets to my house is open the fridge. So I couldn't put anything in there, so I had to go on Sunday morning to get all this stuff.
She can cook,
which I have yet to experience. So
look. Stay on topic, Sierra.
Until I taste it.
And you shall receive.
Girl.
That's why I told her. Ask. You just gotta say I want you to cook something. I'll say okay, and I'll make some food.
Yeah.
Don't be fronting for the camera.
I be cooking.
Her goat is fire.
See?
I have yet to taste that goat.
Y'all heard it here.
I have yet to taste that musty goat.
Chef Boyarkey is in the house always, okay? Anyway, so we are out here. Went and got all the stuff on Sunday, okay? And in order to finesse her out of her home, because she was asleep, I don't know, to 11 with her phone dead, and the party's supposed to start at 1.
Whoa, what time did I go to bed the night before?
I went to bed at 4 o'clock too, because I was out with you.
Okay, all right, but I was exhausted.
And then I had to wake up so I could get all this stuff for your party.
Because you left me.
Okay, so don't talk to me about sleep.
All right.
Anyway, long story short, we get all this stuff. My sister never pays attention to anything. She never puts details together. But on Sunday, she was fucking Inspector Gadget, asking all the questions, putting all the dots and connecting the I's and crossing the T's and doing all the shit that she never does. But on the day we were trying to get her out the house to surprise her for brunch, she had to be resourceful. Why are we going to your house for? We could just meet at the spot. What are we doing? We were like, first of all, bitch, if you don't just show up when we say for you to show up, like, I don't have time.
Because you know when your spirit says that something is amiss, like tofu cake, it's good, but something is amiss.
First of all, bitch.
What? Who was out here eating
tofu cake?
You never. So I say tofu cake when it's good, but something is not right. Something is amiss.
Whoa.
So it's very tofu cake. Got it.
Got it.
I'm fucking weird. But like, you and your tofu cake, you can keep that over there. I don't want any. Long story short, her party was a blast in a glass, and Sierra was there.
I was smiling from ear to ear, y'all. And I smile, but not like that.
She was very happy.
I was so happy. I was thrilled. Also, because I thought none of my friends liked me, because I invited like 32 people to all my events, and she played me, and no one showed up so they could surprise me on Sunday.
See?
Yeah.
She was like, no one cares. Like, no one wants to come to my stuff.
I had to work. I was like, hey, but I know I'm be there on Sunday.
But they all showed up, right?
They
on
all
Sunday.
Showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was lit. Definitely the food was great. Denise brought macaroni and cheese and bacon pizza rolls.
Yeah, and we were judging off rip. We were like, why would you bring pizza rolls that like aren't pepperoni? But then them hoes slapped.
It was really good, and yeah, those drinks were very
yeah, that was
toxic.
The goal. I got her. What did I get you?
A giant bottle of Jameson. And if anybody knows me, I went to Ireland.
Shout out to you, Mom.
Jameson.
My mom facilitated the alcohol portion.
The entire thing.
So, you know,
yeah.
We had to do that. And like all we did was drink and drink more. I mixed Jameson and champagne and Tennessee honey and all the things that I had no business mixing.
And put them in my cup.
I love dearly.
And I was recovering from them at work yesterday. I was like at work like I'm about to pass out.
I love you though. I love
you back. You know what I'm saying? But that was only because Makeda poured it in my glass. I let her be my bartender.
I let you pour my drinks too.
Okay. But yours were lit.
Whoa. You gotta know when Makeda's pouring drinks, she's not loyal at all.
I am loyal. My job is to get you fucked up. I put the right
mixtures in. Yeah,
but you tell me, were my drinks not tasty though?
They were tasty.
Okay, so then don't say nothing to me.
Give her one more year and we might start calling her the chemist.
We used to have a friend named that.
Yeah. Shout out to Barbados and the chemist and all that. Yeah.
Just all the alcohol. And so I feel like, I guess we should get this show started. And, oh wait, before we do that, today is your birthday, so we do have shots that we're going to take in your honor. Where's my shot?
Shot.
Honey, that's Tanqueray. Shout out to Amy Winehouse, God rest her soul, because that's what she used to sing about.
Shout out to you and 28 more long ones at least.
Eyeballs?
Yeah, she said at least eyeballs. Yeah, because
you 7 years of bad sex. Okay.
Ooh.
Not your friend.
Oh wow, you guys.
Okay.
Yeah. And
with that, we are gonna go ahead and get this show started, and Hadia is gonna come back, you guys, in just a little while. So
I'm gonna shimmy out.
Don't miss her too much. She will return.
Oh.
Are you alive, Sierra?
Oh.
Are you ready to die, Sierra?
I need some skinny teeth.
You gonna die? You alive? Sierra's trying to recover, but we got the sauce
and the juice.
I always forget. I continue to forget that we can you guys can see us on the camera now. It's not just.
And the song, I don't do Molly. What was the song?
But anyway, we're going to actually start talking about things that are relevant, which is why you guys tune into our podcast. So I'm going to go ahead and get Politics 101 started. And you guys who are not looking at our YouTube channel, and if you aren't, you should. But if you're not looking, today I have on my Unapologetically Black shirt because I feel like it's very fitting for all the things I need to talk about today. And so I needed to dress appropriately. Sierra looks like Missy Elliott from I Can't Stand the Rain.
I'm hot.
Well, take your hoodie. Oh, you can't take it off. Anyway, you guys, so there has been 1,000,001 things going on this week. And so I'm going to talk about them, and all of them are not very happy, which is fine, but we still have to talk about them. And I have a lot to say, and I'm going to try to not, cry on air or like get too worked up. So, stick with me.
That sounds like a lie, but go ahead.
I'm going to try. So, first things first.
I'm the realist.
You already know, okay? Mm-hmm. So you guys, if you've been watching the news or on social media or paying attention to anything, I hope you know who Stephon Clark is, okay?
Absolutely.
Right? If you don't know, Stephon Clark was murdered by the Sacramento Police Department on Tuesday. What date was last Tuesday?
It was...
the 10th?
Today was it 27th?
Today the 27th?
Yeah.
27th?
Oh, today's Tuesday. So the 20th. Okay, last week on Tuesday night, in Sacramento, right? He was shot 20 times in his own backyard, okay? He had no weapon. He was holding his iPhone in his hand. It was his backyard. And so a lot of people there's a lot, as usual, let me backtrack. As per usual, when there's a police officer involved shooting, the first thing people say is, well, why didn't he just comply? Why was he running from the police? Why wouldn't you just do what they say? All of that is completely irrelevant in this case. Not that it matters to people who are, Blue Lives Matter. But in this situation, it's almost like it's undisputable that Stephon Clark was doing nothing wrong in the least. He just fit the description of what the Sacramento Police Department and what most police departments decide that suspects look like. And so here's the backstory, right?
Okay.
So actually, before I say that, I watched a video on Vice, and I wish that there was a way for me to show you guys the video so you could see what I looked like, or looked at, And there is a compilation video on Vice because Sacramento police, and I will give them kudos for this, they released their body cam footage, their audio, as well as the helicopter footage. So Vice compiled all of the sound and video footage so you can get a complete picture of like what was going on when that happened. Right. So you can see from the helicopter. So on the video, you can hear that they can see him. So you can, how the helicopters will have the light and you can like see through the heat sensors or whatever, you can see the person. So you can see that he's already in backyard. So people think that he was running from the police, but he was never running from the police. He hadn't encountered the police. He was going home. So he was going through the backyards in the neighborhoods in which he knows instead of walking on the street for whoever knows what reason, right? And it doesn't matter. He's going to the backyards going home, right? So he's already in his backyards going home. When the police found him, he was in his grandmother's backyard. So he wasn't in anybody else's backyard. He was in the backyard of the home that he stays in. And he was so it's like the house has like a side, like driveway scenario. So the car's on the side of the house. So he was between the car and the side of the house and like his back door, like where like a sliding door would be, like a deck or whatever. Right. So you can see him there. You can see the police coming around from the actual street side, and he can't hear them until they're in the backyard. And you can see the helicopters are looking at him and they say, oh, he's on the west side, blah, 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 whatever. And they never, at any time, do the police actually identify themselves as police. They run up and they say, show me your hands. So all he does, and I think it's like 3.2 seconds, and when they say, show me your hands, and when they fire 20 bullets, and the video counts all the bullets, 16 of which that were shot, he was already on the ground. So you shot him, and then you fired 16 more rounds after he was already on the ground. So they shine flashlights in his face. They say, show me your hands. They never identify themselves as police officers until he's on the ground. So when he's already dead or dying, then they say, Sacramento police, show us your hands. Don't move. Drop your weapon. When it's like, first of all, why wouldn't you identify yourself as the police immediately?
Right.
Because why would I not? And he does back up when they say, show me your hands, because you've got 4 people yelling at you with flashlights, right? Like anybody's instinct when you're in your own yard, you don't know what's going on. I'm not going to walk towards the people that are there. That's human instinct, is to back up.
Right.
So he's not running. He's already, like, there's honestly nowhere for him to go because he's in the backyard. So it's not like he can like run away. There's nowhere for him to go. So he's already cornered. They shot him 20 times. And then after he's on the ground, they wait 5 minutes before they go up to him. You can hear them on the cameras talking about, or on the audio and on video, you can hear them talking about, well, he might be faking. We don't know if he's actually down. We don't know what weapon he has. All this dumb shit they're saying, really and truly to cover their own tracks. Right. They handcuff his body. What blows me is that you guys are, like, you know that he's dead, but you somehow think that you should still then put handcuffs on the dead man. You guys never thought, okay, we shot him. Maybe let's, provide some kind of medical attention, which that's your job. You know how to do. They didn't do any of that. Then they start talking about how they're the Sacramento Police Department after you already murdered him. You didn't ask him to show. You asked him to show his hands to who? To what? To strangers for what? When you had that flashlight in people's face, I've had a flashlight from a police officer shown right into my face. You can't see anything. So there'd be no way for him to know that these are police officers. Right. I mean, in that short of a time. If there was a longer window where they had spoken to him, given him minutes to comply, even like 20 seconds to comply, then you could say, okay, well, it's the police. You should just see what they're saying. You didn't give him any time. You murdered him in cold blood in his own backyard is what you did.
And let's not fail to mention, I'm sure you're going to get to this. Mm-hmm. They definitely muted their cameras, which Which is why they had to then release all of their audio footage. Yeah, because their police chief was like, I don't know why they did that. So you don't know why your officers muted their cameras?
Right, of course he knows. Okay. Right, they all know why they do that. And what's ridiculous is like people are like, well, why was he holding his phone like a gun? How do you hold an iPhone
like a gun?
I have my phone in my hand. What does this phone? Bro. And his iPhone is white, and you can see in the video when they roll his fucking body over in order to handcuff him. You can see the phone is shattered underneath him. So
and
his phone
why
is
the
white.
hell are you handcuffing him?
A dead body.
That you hit him multiple times. He's not about to do nothing.
And then what pisses me off, and if I encourage you guys to watch this video, you can just Google it, and it's literally 3 minutes of film. But literally, when they are just like the cops, it's despicable. They're talking to each other, and they're like, "Oh, bro, are you hit? No, I'm good. I'm not hit." And it's like, nigga, for a fact you're not hit. You didn't hear no gun. There was no gunshot. No one said there was a weapon. So it's not even like you went into that situation thinking that there could possibly be a weapon. Like, there's no reason for you to think there were no gunshots except your gunshots. So they're acting like it was a fucking shootout. Like they were shooting at each other. You shot him, and you're asking if you were hit. Hit from what? Who was shooting but you? You were.
He legit jumped over the fence so he could get into his grandma's house.
Going home.
And his grandma was in the house.
Waiting for him
to come to the house. And she got on the ground and was crawling because she heard the gunshots. Had no idea that was her grandson that they were out there.
Yeah, they don't know what's going on.
And like just to see that anguish like from his grandmother is just
the video is right here.
Heartbreaking enough. Like I can't even watch videos like that. Like
it's crazy
because there's too many of them. You know what I'm saying? And I just
don't worry, we're gonna talk about that today too.
I'm like missing with the Blue Lives Matter stuff.
I'm here for it today.
Yeah.
And the last thing I'll say about this, and shout out to The Root for really breaking this down very well. Same with Vice, and people, so the first thing they say is, well, why are you running from the police? Number one,
he wasn't running from the police.
Right. And even if he was, what pisses me off is that I don't know if it's a Pennsylvania court. Anyway, I can find that fact at another time. But there's another court that has already ruled that it is not illegal. It's actually justified for black men in particular to run from the police, even if they're not committing a crime, because we know what happens when black men encounter the police. Right. So that's just common sense. Like I have no interest in encountering the police, and I'm a regular ass black woman, law-abiding citizen, no reason to run, but I don't feel safe around police, which is ridiculous because it's the opposite. But however, evading arrest is a misdemeanor in California. So even if he was running from the police, they are under no threat of violence from him. The same thing that we encountered with Freddie Gray. Right, with his back to you, how is he a threat to you? There's nothing that he could possibly do to you unless he's somehow over his shoulder pointing a gun at you. When people are running away from the police, they're posing no threat to you. Maybe, you might not want to chase them down, but it's not a crime that is punishable by death. If he's running from you, you catch him, or you catch him tomorrow, and then you add it to his charges, like you tried to evade arrest. Great. Like you don't need to die for that.
No reason to shoot them. Like,
at all. There's no justifiable reason.
Trying to get into his grandma's house.
Right. I want to go home.
I hate people.
So we're just going to, don't you guys bear with me because we're going to stay on this topic of police and gun violence, and we'll see how we tie it all together. Okay. I'm here painting a picture for you guys
wrap it up
today.
We're going to wrap it up real tight in a bow. Some Beats, Dre, whatever, headphones.
Beats by Dre?
Beats by Dre, whatever that child's name is.
I can't stand you.
I can't.
Right. It is.
It's somebody.
He's a billionaire. You're right.
He is a billionaire. Give me $5. I'm just shook.
Then there is a woman named Cynthia Clements.
Was
right there. Right.
Let's be very clear
was.
Let's
say was.
People are was. Okay. Because of white police officers.
All right. So, and Sierra, it's not funny. I can only think about what Sierra said about this story.
That part was
kind of funny.
Well,
let's backtrack. Let's make this clear before people think that we're laughing about a person losing their life. We're not. There is a black woman named Cynthia Clements, okay? And this happened last week in Elgin, Illinois. And Cynthia Clements had a known history of mental illness. The police officers knew that she had a history of mental illness. The reason why we're talking
this even worse,
right? And the reason why we're talking about this case is because it's really a nuanced case, a very interesting dynamic. So she had a steak knife. She did have a weapon, right? She was in her car. So what happened was that on Friday, let me find it. So they had like not a high speed chase, but they definitely were chasing her on the highway. Okay. They were able to corner Cynthia in her car on the shoulder of an Illinois, interstate. And so she was there. They cornered her and she parked on a dead end street in the early morning of March 12th. So this was last week. Yeah, March 12th. So when the police approached her car, she took off, driving through a stoplight, entering Interstate 90, which is about 40 miles outside of Chicago. So she eventually stopped driving on the center shoulder of the highway after losing 2 of her tires, and the police were able to use 2 SUVs in order to block in her automobile, okay? So the police officers asked her to step out of her car, and the police department, what is happening? What is going on, you guys? I'm sorry. There's so many people in here right now. My sister's a clown. Anyway, so they were able to get her to stop driving. We're on the highway. They tried to get her out of the car. And so there were some exchanges that ensued. So the Elgin Police Department, they released their audio and from the dash cams, and we're actually able to hear that they are talking about the fact that she has a steak knife and a small screwdriver, which were in the car with her. So in the video, this is not a case where we're saying she was unarmed, not potentially dangerous, because she was.
She was armed.
Right, she was armed with a knife, however, okay? We're bringing a knife to a gunfight, so let's be clear here. It's not like they're comparable weapons.
They didn't need to kill her.
Right, but what the problem is, the reason why we're talking about this case is that the police spent an hour trying to persuade her to get out of her vehicle. And the reason why Sierra thought that the story was funny is because Cynthia informed the police that she would get out after she smoked one more cigarette.
Yeah, she needed to finish her cigarette. And that's real.
And the officers, which is funny, it is funny, but the officers complied. So what they did was smart. They used that time to then discuss with each other how they would handle the situation when she got out of the car. So that for me sounds like good police work. All right. Yeah, we know this lady has some issues. She said she's going to finish smoking her cigarette. Let's use the time in order to figure out what our plan of action is so that we can all, make sure that we're doing our best job to make sure that everybody goes home safely, right? And that's actually how it sounds, the lieutenant. So you can hear Lieutenant Christian Jensen, who's actually the man who shot Clements. He says, if she does exit out of the vehicle, we'll try to order her back, right? Jensen, he indicates that he's the boss at the scene. He tells the other officers that if she does end up brandishing the knife, we'll go with the 40. And 40 is a police nickname for less than lethal rubber bullets. Okay, and he says, and if it ends up being closer and she's coming towards us, we'll try to tase her then. And after that, then we'll take other options. So this guy who ends up shooting her, he's the boss on the scene. He tells everybody else, we're gonna make sure we try to order her back. Before we even use any other things, we're going to try to hit her with rubber bullets. Then if we need to, we're going to tase her before we take any other lethal methods of getting, taking care of the situation, which sounds like good police work. But what's crazy is that it's Clements who then surprises the lawman by she set something on fire in her car. Clements is the victim. Cynthia Clements. She ends up setting something on fire in her car. So as the smoke fills the vehicle, she then gets out of the car, gagging for air. So the police officers tell her to put the knife down, blah, blah, blah. And as she puts one foot on the ground, she takes 1 second step, and then they shoot her, right?
In the head. Right.
Bullets to the head, okay? So in multiple viewings of the footage, we're able to see...
Somebody wasn't listening.
Not somebody that wasn't listening. It is the same man who told everybody what to do. He shot her. Oh, okay. He was the one telling everybody what they should do.
Oh,
He shot her. So in the footage, you can see.
F word, bro.
You know, like, I won't judge you. You know, because I say it, so you could do what you want to do.
My mom wouldn't like that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You do what you want. But it is estimated that between 0.44 and 0.66 seconds pass between her exiting the vehicle and the first shot. So she's not able to take more than 2 steps. Okay, so then body cam is still rolling, so you can hear Jensen, the man who was on her side at first, or doing good police work first, and then ended up murdering her. He says, "Okay, I shot. After this is done, we're gonna have to talk here." He said, "Yeah, I shot her. She had a couple knives in her hands. Approached us with the knives, yelling and screaming." And he says, "Oh, I'm good. I mean, I don't know what else we're going to do here." He said, "I'm not happy. It absolutely sucks, but I was stuck. Is what he says. You were stuck.
But
you were stuck. How?"
He just wanted to be the one that got that bullet in that black woman. He wanted to be the prize of the game because they're hunting black people.
Like, it just don't even make no sense, because what starts out as being what sounds like good police work, that is what we would want, especially when the police knows that there is mental health issues going on. We know that there's something else happening. You know that she has a weapon. Sounds like he had all of the right things understood, right? We're not going to use lethal methods. We're going to use rubber bullets. Then we're going to tase her. There's like 10 cops, I think, that were there. One woman, I don't understand how you think with a knife from at least 8 feet away that she somehow, is she a ninja? Is she a Jedi? Is she going to throw the knives and the screwdriver at you that you couldn't even give her 2 seconds to comply? She got out of the car, like you said, and then you murdered her. So that's what really pisses me off about people saying, well, why don't you comply with the police? How am I supposed to comply when you said, get out of the car, and then before I can put my weapons down? Or we don't even know she got out of the car with the weapons. We knew that she had them, but how could they know in 0.44 seconds? Because I know I've got pretty good vision with my contacts on, okay? And in 0.44 seconds from the second that she got out of the vehicle, how do you know if she has the knives in her hand? And if she did, you didn't tell her to put the weapons down. So I'm supposed to get out. I got out. I was to put the weapons down. How long does it take for me to put the weapons down? At least a good second? 2.5 seconds, maybe? Like, we don't even give people any capacity to comply. And that's what makes me the most angry about people who say, well, why don't you comply with the police? They didn't give Tamir Rice any time. They didn't say anything to Tamir Rice. They rolled up at a park and murdered a 12-year-old because they thought that he had a gun in an open carry state and thought that he was an adult. So you guys can all miss me with that bullshit talking about comply with the police, because people get to comply when they're white, and you don't get the option to survive any of these encounters when you're black. And it just doesn't work like that for us. And the sooner people understand that is when we'll find equity and when we'll be able to get actual gun control, because police violence is gun violence, and there's no difference. And anybody that thinks that there's a difference between gun violence and police violence is sadly mistaken. Mm-hmm. There's not. They're all tied together. There is no difference. You can't pull those things apart. It don't make no sense. And so we're going to continue down Story Road today, because we've got a lot of news about the police and the way that they get to do whatever they want this week. So you guys are just going to have to listen in the same way that I had to read all this and be hype and wait for today to talk about it. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to think back.
I don't really have too much to say about that, because I'm starting to get really upset.
Right. Don't get too upset, chicken. You got wine.
That's the problem. I'm getting emotional. Like, I'm sitting over here, like, fighting tears.
It's
like,
stressful.
Legit.
It's ridiculous. So we're going to think back 2016. We're going to talk about Alton Sterling, okay? To Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So we found out today that the 2 white police officers who shot Alton Sterling will not face charges. And let's be clear, not that they weren't convicted, not that they won't even face charges for murdering him. So, so they're not even going to see their day in court. There will be no justice served for Alton Sterling. So the Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry. Wow. Okay. He announced this morning that after a thorough and exhaustive review of the facts, his office would not proceed with the prosecution of either officer who shot and killed Alton Sterling, who was 37, at close range on July 5th, 2016. He said that our investigation concluded that officers Lake and Salamone attempted to make a lawful arrest of Alton Sterling with probable cause. So here was a scenario. If you guys aren't aware, you don't know. He was shot multiple times outside of a convenience store while being held down by 2 officers, Howie Lake and Blaine Salamone. The exact sequence of events leading to his death are hazy. Sterling was armed at the time. One of the officers contended that he used lethal force after Sterling reached for his gun.
No, he didn't, liar.
Right. Bystanders, however, have disputed that account. Okay, so what happened was that Alton Sterling was selling CDs outside of a man named Abdullah Mufalahi. He's the owner of the Triple S convenience store, and Alton Sterling was selling CDs outside of his convenience store when the police were called. He actually filmed the fatal encounter. He said that he never saw Sterling reaching for his gun. However, the video does show that the officers are remove an object from Alton's pocket after they killed him. So Muflahi said it was a gun. So he was armed. They said he reached for his weapon, which is why they shot him. However, he never reached for it, because we can all see, because we all have two eyeballs on video.
Well, you don't believe you or your own eyes.
Okay, right. And then they removed the gun from his pocket after the fact. So y'all removed the gun from his pocket after you shot him, which speaks to me to the fact that how is it even a threat to you if you had to take it out of his pocket from under his dead body after you murdered him? So when and where was he reaching for said weapon? How could he use the weapon if he's flat down on his stomach, face down with two officers with knees in their backs, yet somehow he reached for his weapon? They didn't say their weapon, because that seems to me more logical, that I could reach your weapon if you're on my back versus the gun that's in my pocket that's on my stomach. And Alton Sterling was not a small human being, so it's not like he could just reach into his pocket to get that gun. Like, that means it's significantly underneath his, the trunk of his body. It's under him. He's laying flat down with two people's knees in his back. So it don't make no sense. However, big deal. So this is what the article is saying, right? His lower half of his body was concealed because he's laying down, which is particularly his right front pocket, not his back pocket. Anyway, Salamone then fired 3 times at Alton Sterling's chest, and then he rose off of him, keeping his handgun pointed at Sterling, according to the report, right? Mm-hmm. After Sterling sat up in response to the initial shots, Salamone fired more shots at him, which eventually killed him. Okay, so after the fact, they removed a .38 caliber handgun from Sterling's pocket and secured it, which is according to the report. So the reason why I bring this up is because the 2 officers, like I said, are not facing any charges. And most people, well, black people in particular, we know that police officers are able to kill, or not even kill, they're able to murder black and brown people with impunity, with no responsibility, no accountability, and there's nothing that happens to them. A lot of these officers get to go back to work, which is ridiculous. At the very least, they should no longer be officers, but a lot of them get to go back to work. So I decided to go ahead and take a little look to figure out exactly how many police officers actually ever even face charges, okay? Because it's one thing to say you get convicted and go to jail for something, but to say that you don't even ever get indicted for charges. So if people who don't really know what that means, it means that the city or, the county, actually no, it would be the city that would raise charges against police officers. They never even charged them with anything. So that means that people are dying with no one accountable for their deaths. There is nothing that is happening to the people that murder them at all. Most of them get to go, they stop working with administrative leave, paid administrative leave. So you get to murder someone, you still get a paycheck, and then you sit at home on your couch on vacation because they can't technically have you work because you just murdered someone. But then after it all blows over, you can just come on right back to work, or you can transfer to another another precinct, which is exactly what happened to the cop that actually murdered Shamir Rice in Chicago, or Cleveland, is that he had gotten into a lot of trouble with a lot of excessive use of force. He never murdered anyone, but excessive use of force, so they moved him, and Cleveland police hired him on no fucking problem, no smoke. You like to beat people up and abuse your power, but you can work here. It's no big deal. We'll accept anybody to be police officers here, and that's what happened. So I looked this up, and CNN, they did a study that showed between 2005 and April 2017, okay? So there are about 1,000 police shootings each year in the U.S. Between 2005 and 2017, only 80 officers had been arrested on murder or manslaughter charges for on-duty shootings. During that 12-year span, 35% were convicted, while the rest were pending or not convicted, according to work by Philip Stinson, who's an associate professor of criminal justice at Bowling Green State University in Ohio. 1,000 a year.
You know what's funny though is the black guy that actually shot that white woman. I forget where.
Oh yeah,
he's
that Australian white woman. Oh yeah,
Australian white woman. He's in jail now.
Yeah, they arrested the fuck out of him because you can't shoot blonde Molly for no reason.
and
get away with it, but you can shoot every black and brown person that is alive for no reason, basically,
and be good
and be Gucci.
I'm
Keep your
sure,
job.
Yeah, Philando
Castile. Oh no, of course not.
His murder, free,
living
enjoying
good.
their life, like guilt free, like
Tamir Rice, they're good.
Yeah,
Freddie
they're
Gray,
good because he was looked like a man, right? So
Freddie Gray, they good.
Freddie Gray, they're good. All those officers that were involved in that, they're good.
Right, no big deal.
Yeah, white woman gets killed, black man goes to jail. That's
So
how it works.
the reason you guys here is pissed, and the reason why, and it's frustrating. It never ends. It never ends. And the reason why I brought all of these things up is not to just like be a Debbie Downer and make everybody feel bad. One, this is how black people feel all the time. This is why black people don't trust police. This is why black people are not on board when, actually, no. I mean, when it comes to police, most black and brown people do not feel safe. I have never in my life committed a crime that would need police to be around, and I don't feel safe calling the police for anything.
What crime did you commit?
None. That's what I'm saying. And so I have no reason to be scared of the police. Right. Shut up. I'm more scared of my parents. Not being scared of the police did not keep me from not committing crimes. My parents, in fear of what the fuck would happen to me at home, is what kept me from doing anything wrong. Okay? My parents, not the police. But like, I really would have to think twice. I genuinely do if I ever feel, I have had people follow me on the street, and I was like, I still wouldn't want to call the police because there's nothing about you that makes me feel safe. I would call my sister on the phone, my mom, my dad, talk to somebody till I get to where I'm going. Anyone else, there is not a bone in my body that makes me believe that when I call the police that they will help me. There is nothing that makes me believe that when I call them and they come, that then my survival and my best interest is at heart. Nothing about that. Nothing about police officers. And people will say not all cops are bad. Great. We know that. I don't need to say that. Just like any other group, we know not all police officers are bad, but there is not another profession on the planet where people defend people who are terrible at their job. When you are bad at your job, in any other world, you get fired from your job. You are held accountable for not being good at your job, but not police.
Yeah, you're out of here, buddy. Yeah, so...
Like, it doesn't make any sense. Or you have cops where it's like, well, we don't know what they expect when they get there. They deal with dangerous situations. You are trained to deal with dangerous situations. So if you're scared, why are you here?
Yeah,
you can't protect me if you're scared.
You need to be back at the ranch.
It makes no sense. Well, they got to deal with so much shit. That is your one job. It's to deal with all the shit that you deal with. And you're telling me that you're scared to deal with the shit that we pay you to deal with. Why are you here? This cannot be your job. If you are scared about what you're going to face on the street, you should be able to take the training that you apparently spend 6 months doing, right? Basic training, I think is 6 months. You take a test, you've got to do all of that. Like, you should be able to tactically implement those things that you learn, just like with any other job. I have to be able to implement the training that I have in order to make me successful at my job. If I'm not, I will be fired or replaced.
If you're scared, go to church. If you got PTSD, see somebody.
Right. And
you don't need to be on the streets with a gun. How about that?
Precisely. And the reason why, we're not going to rant about this too long because I could talk about this for the entire episode.
Beyonce told you guys. She told you. Scared, go to church.
Okay. The reason why I talked about this is because this past weekend on Saturday was the nationwide March for Our Lives. Yeah, I'm just going to.
For whose lives? That's the important question.
Okay. And the reason why I bring this up, and the reason why I said earlier that gun violence by the police is still gun violence. Police violence is gun violence. Okay, there's no separation. Look at you making noise, Matthew.
You so easily distracted.
The March for Our Lives. Okay, let me get back on track. The reason why I brought all of those police cases up, and these all were things that happened this week, so I didn't just bring up old shit for no reason. All these things happened this past week, and the March for Our Lives was on Saturday. And that was something that was kind of put together, right? That was something that was put together by the survivors of the Parkland shooting that happened on Valentine's Day earlier this year, where 17 kids were murdered, and I think 20-something, almost 30 people were injured. And so a lot of the students that survived, something that's really into my nose, the children that survived, and not all of them were actually shot, but a lot of them, or at least 2 of them actually survived bullet wounds. Put together the March for Our Lives, and across the nation it obviously caught on, and in cities everywhere, including right here in Seattle, and I will actually be the first person to admit I didn't even know that was going on until Saturday.
I'm not going to it.
I had no idea that it was going on.
Seattle.
So I was trying to, you feel me? I live in Capitol Hill, which is like a city here for people who don't live in Seattle. It's like a metropolitan area, whatever. Anyway, but the streets were blocked off and I'm trying to figure out what was going on. So I had to hit Google really quick and I was like, oh, nationwide March for Our Lives. Like, great.
Nationwide is on your side, bro.
It always, right?
Always.
And
oh,
yes.
Sidebar.
Yes.
In the NY Times today, I'll have to read the article later because I thumbnailed it. Yep, NY Times, whatever the hell.
Yeah, the New York Times.
And
yeah,
same. And so there was an article that was entitled, "I was nice to the shooter and he still shot my friends." From Parkland. Just FYI.
And that's
so that whole like
last week, walk up, not out.
Okay. That doesn't work for everybody.
And what pisses me off about that, and I think I probably said it last week, but I'll say it again, it don't make no sense about the Parkland shooting to say walk up, not out, because the shooter was not even going to Parkland anymore, or Marjorie Stone, or whatever the school's actually called. So you're talking about you got to walk up and be nice to people. This nigga was not even a student anymore, and he came back to his school
don't
to
give
shoot
that credit.
it
He
up.
wasn't a nigga.
Okay.
Don't give him one.
You're right. Let me be clear. This white man, this adult who the media is trying to infantilize as a boy who, you know, needed help and XYZ. Fuck that. This grown ass white man went back to his school and murdered people. So you guys are telling students that they should be nice to people and don't bully people. Again, I'm the first one to say I'm anti-bully always, but you're talking about I should talk to people just because I don't want them to shoot up a school. Number one, what are you telling the kid that you're talking to because you're only speaking to him because you think that he might eventually be a school shooter? Like, you're not talking to him because you want to be his friend, but all these people are going to start talking to people that they wouldn't normally talk to because we think that you might be the next person to murder a bunch of people. What does that tell that individual to begin with, number one? And number two, you don't have to do anything for somebody to come and enact violence on you. We saw that with the Marjorie Stone Mountain shooting right in Parkland. James Holmes, he was not bullied by anybody, okay? He was fine. This guy was a fucking neuroscientist and in school at CU Denver because he was smart as shit and then shot up a movie theater. So it's like, you gotta talk about bullying, but there are all these white men who are shooting shit up who have not been bullied, or maybe they were bullied when they were younger, but we're talking about 5 years later, now they're enacting violence. So how did those things correlate? Those are people that need help and you need to take ownership. Do not put the onus of violence on victims. We do that to rape victims. We do that to almost all. We victimize victims even further when we say that it's your fault and there's something that you should have been doing. There's not shit that you can tell these kids that they should have been doing. And I refuse to help push that rhetoric that I need to be nice to everybody. The world is not nice to everybody. It is not my job to coddle everybody around me because I don't want to die. What is the problem is gun control is the problem, and parents not raising their children right, okay? Why does your son have weapons that he should not have and you don't know? Why are you okay with your son having an assault rifle that he doesn't need and you don't know where it is? You're not locking it up. You're not accountable for it. You are a problem as a parent. You need to parent your children and make sure that they know that everybody doesn't have to be nice to them. It is not my job to teach my kid that they need to baby everybody around them because that's not how the real world is. It's not. I'm not doing that. It doesn't make any sense. We need to control weapons. Every other developed country on the planet has common sense gun control, and they don't have this issue. America stands alone with this issue because we somehow think that the Second Amendment trumps every other human right issue that we have, which doesn't even make sense. And the reason why I'm sorry, I went on a tangent because I was not.
Yeah, girl, stay with it.
That was not where I was going with that. Where I was going with the March for Our Lives, and bear with me, people, is that I have to give kudos to all of the Marjorie Stone Mountain High School students who are leading that march, right? Leading the charge at the moment to push for common sense gun control, because they are doing better than any adults almost have ever done in recognizing that they have privilege. They have said more than once that if they were not white and from an affluent neighborhood, they would not be on the cover of Time magazine. They would not be getting national attention.
Right.
Fucking the Patriots sent, their jet to help bring people to DC for the March for Their Lives, when it's like, Black kids have been protesting and advocating for things in their schools forever, have been protesting gun violence by the police, which again, I will say it 1,000 times, police violence is gun violence, have been protesting, doing the same thing, organizing in their communities, leading marches, and they are portrayed as hoodlums.
Right.
And criminals.
It was a meme where it was like a white dude. It was like when black kids complain about gun violence and the white guy was like this.
Yeah, fingers in his ears.
Shooters, they're like, come on,
good
kids,
job.
do it.
Right, direct action is okay when you're white, but it's not okay when you're black. And I had to give props to all the Parkland students for saying, like, we understand that we have this privilege, is why how we got this platform.
Right.
And they have done very well in saying we're also advocating for our students, our fellow students who you guys don't listen to, flat out. They've said it more than once. Like, we know that y'all don't listen to our friends and, you know, people like us and other communities that are black and brown. And so we'll advocate for them too. And that is how you use your privilege for good. That is what you're supposed to do. And so what I think is good, I think it's ridiculous that, you know, a bunch of 15-year-olds have to school adults about understanding their privilege. But I mean, I get it. Almost with every movement there's ever been, every civil rights movement, it is always driven by youth, including the civil rights movement, right? It's always driven by the youth because we fucking know what's going on and we know what we need to do in order to get adults to protect us, which is, I think, a little sad. I would think that we would be doing better in 2018, but we're not. And so shout out to them. Shout out to March for Our Lives. I understand why a lot of black and brown people did not want to participate because these marches don't advocate for us. They don't speak for us. So I'm glad that at least the one that was, you know, nationally televised in DC, that the Parkland students used their platform in order to say, we're also thinking about you and speaking for you. But on a, you know, a local level, I understand why black and brown people don't participate. And then, you know, the last thing that I will say about this, and we're just going to keep sliding along, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna move on to talk some shit because we can't do this much longer. Sarah loses her mind over here.
Yep, because I'm about to in like 2.5 seconds.
So on a lighter note, still on gun violence and gun control, but there is a school district in, let me be as accurate as possible, Orwigsburg, Pennsylvania. That's what PA is, right? Pennsylvania. Yeah, a rural, I can't say that word. Rural. A rural school district in Pennsylvania. They have armed their teachers and students with rocks, okay? Actual rocks, to ward off potential school shooters, okay? This is what they've done. So Blue Mountain School District Superintendent David Helsel has said in a statement posted on their website, there will be extra security starting Monday and into the future. He says that media attention over the district's planned response of school shooters has increased our concern regarding the possibility that something may happen, okay? And so Helsel said that every classroom in the district, which is about 90 miles northwest of Philadelphia, has a 5-gallon bucket of river stones as a last resort should an armed intruder burst in. He said, we always strive to find new ways to keep our students safe. Right? Throwing rocks is more effective than just crawling under desks and waiting. And it gives students and teachers a chance to defend themselves, he says. Okay?
I mean, to be completely honest, I work in academia, and we did an active shooter video. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to let you know right now, somebody comes in with a gun, you will not catch me throwing no book or no rocks or pebbles at a shooter. I'm out of there, bro. If it gets critical and I can take them down, I'll feel like a hero. But I'm not. My first instinct, let me get a book, because a book is stronger than a bullet. They shoot the book, I'm gone.
Like, it don't make logical sense. We talking about people coming in here with M16s and other shit.
Yeah, and so they're going to blow all of us up.
Like, how will a rock or a book protect me against a slew of bullets, okay?
The system is designed against us.
Okay. And Kenneth Trump, no relation. This poor guy's got the worst last name.
Kenneth Trump. Is he black?
I don't know, but he is president of the Cleveland-based National School Safety and Security Services, which is a K-12 security consulting firm.
Do a different job.
He needs to, but as he says, he called the idea illogical and irrational, and said it could possibly cost lives. He said that the efforts fill an emotional security need, but don't actually enhance security. Right?
That's the first Trump I ever heard make sense.
You know what I'm saying? Me too. And he's right. It makes perfect sense. Right, me too.
Turn up.
It makes perfect sense though, because it's like you're gonna falsely empower students and teachers that think that rocks can protect them. So when an active shooter is coming, they're gonna try to stand up and face a shooter, look down the barrel of a gun with some rocks, and think that they're gonna walk away alive. Like, you're not. Your ass is grass if you think that throwing some river stones is gonna stop 14 bullets from hitting you in your body, because it's not. You finna die.
Yeah, I ain't fall asleep in powder because I'm not doing it. That sounds like when we was watching the video, I was like, this sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Okay.
Like, you want me to start hollering, throwing books? No, you want me to die and I'm not into it. You gonna replace me next week, so I'm good.
Okay, it's gonna look like a first-person shooter game. He's just gonna start mowing people down like it's fucking Call of Duty. Okay, no, they're not gonna care about you standing up in front of them.
I'm doing nigga survival tactics. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that.
Right, I'm running, and if
I
you're in the way, you getting
about
pushed.
to shoot my books. What's up?
Stop. Protect the books at all costs. Anyway,
Right.
you guys, I had to end on a lighthearted note. But I will point out, however, that there are other, school districts and other people that are coming up with all kinds of, you guys can't hear me if you're not looking, but solutions, in air quotes, that they're coming up with solutions of all kinds in order to try to protect students, yet somehow none of them have to do with gun reform. You guys are going to do everything else except get rid of the guns. Like, that to me, I'm not gonna say nothing else. That's just gonna be it.
I'm not with it,
I'm just gonna shut up. That's all.
Okay.
Anyway, Sierra, let's just talk shit about other people.
Are you ready to get on trend? Because I feel like it's time for our special guest to come back.
Because I'm stressed. Oh yeah, Eddie, bring your ass back. I'm stressed. Yeah.
I've been stressed.
I gotta move. Please hold while we readjust ourselves. I wish that we had elevator music, but we don't. So we're just gonna wait until she's here. Are you here? You're back.
I gotta
Hi.
hear your mic.
Okay, hello.
Hi.
She's back.
Yay.
And it's Sierra's turn. So
And
Sierra,
it is us, and we back at it again because I legit, like, it's funny because, like, during each episode, Matt always,
he like
yells at me.
Like
Whisper,
whispers?
yeah, because I totally just can't.
Yeah.
He, whisper yells at me to, look at the camera.
Mm-hmm.
But I cannot tonight because, for one, I dropped my pretzel. And then two, I almost started crying, so I just couldn't look at them.
You didn't want to cry on air so you could be like me because I cried on air?
No, because I could totally recant that whole situation and replay your voice. But I'm not going to do that because that's rude. Because it was a very serious situation. That you were
I cry
about.
really easily. I honestly don't even care.
I'll do it off air because it was just so
I'll hug you when we're done.
It was so pure.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
Start us off with something good.
Okay,
first of all, my niggas, what's good?
Hi.
At the end of the day, Black Panther,
Yay.
is the U.S.'s top grossing superhero movie of all time.
All time. And if you guys didn't hear that, all time.
Superhero movie of all time. There's no
all black people, only two white people in the film, goddamn.
And we got Caribbean people in there too.
Come on, M'Baku.
M'Baku, I just texted him before recording.
Stop it. You didn't.
He sent me a
screenshot of your text talking about this girl won't leave me alone. So.
Oh my gosh, you're such a liar. All right, niggas. Somebody bit Beyonce. Who did it?
Oh wait, but before we talk about that, Black Panther is the top grossing U.S. Comic film of all time. Okay, sorry.
Comedy?
Comic film.
Comic film. That too. You always gotta be all specific. Anyway.
Yeah.
Semantics.
Mm-hmm. Semantics, bro. At the end of the day, check it out. So, Tiffany she's been running her mouth for a minute, okay? So she got to a party with the queen one time, and so she started telling stories about how Beyonce stopped her from getting into a fight, this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
And it was great. But in my head and in many people's heads, we were like, okay, Tiffany, bruh,
calm down.
You hang out with Beyonce, you don't talk about it.
Right, that's why she had to talk about signing a non-disclosure in that song.
Right, and when she did Top Off or whatever with Future and them, she was like, yeah, you gotta sign an NDA to hang out with B. Now, this week, reports are surfacing because Tiffany started talking again. You know, she likes to talk. She's always thinking. She started talking and she was like, somebody bit Beyonce, and I guess that might have been why she tried to fight. So everybody has been trying to be Inspector Gadget and figure out who bit Beyonce. My thought on it, I'm going to be a conspiracy theorist and say, because they're saying that it was an actor that everybody knows is on drugs, but I'm going to say that I feel like this has something to do with a tour. Okay. Because I just feel like Tiffany, it's just she just won't stop talking. But I'm trying to figure out who would bite Beyonce. You would have to be on some what was it? Some Courtney Love drugs to really bite Beyonce.
But you got to be really close though, because think about it has to be a celebrity, because Beyonce does not get close to fans at all. Okay. Yeah. If you ever see her walking, her security be moving them parting the Red Sea. Goddamn, Beyonce don't get close to anybody, so it cannot be a fan, a fan.
And I know Julius was there, so
her bodyguard.
Yeah, so Julius her bodyguard, and Julius do not play.
I've literally seen him put his hand mush a whole fan. First of all, bitch,
But what if it was a friend? Because I bite you.
No,
all the
no.
time.
What I'm saying is that it has to be somebody closer. Like it has to be a celebrity or like a friend. Yeah, no, Hadia's good for that.
No,
or like
but
putting
I
your finger
bite.
up your
You're a
ear,
biter?
nose, or in your
I lick her
ear.
all the time.
Oh, okay. Turn up.
Yeah.
Licking and
Yeah.
licking and
Pretty
biting.
normal in this, house.
I'm into it.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that it has to be somebody who like is not knows Beyonce, but like is in her circle because a fan couldn't get close enough to Beyonce to do that.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't a fan. Like she would have got body slammed.
What if it was
she'd have
Tiffany
been dead
Haddish?
on arrival. She
No.
probably did. If she ain't that crazy.
Because I heard the story was somebody bit Beyonce, and then Tiffany Haddish tried to square up.
Which is why Beyonce
be
stopped
like,
her.
Yeah, it was like, nah, that's not worth it.
I don't know, y'all. Like they like
Beyonce
to
need to
spend-
get a rabies test.
Or also, Chrissy Teigen says that she knows who it is, and so
I
Twitter
feel
was trying
like
to get Chrissy Teigen.
is playing. She's an ultimate troll.
That's what I'm saying. I love her, and I feel like either she knows or she's just like,
She's
I'm gonna troll
trolling.
the fuck out of y'all.
I vote she knows. I think she knows.
She probably knows because I think she was there with John Legend at the same party.
Chrissy probably tried to bite her.
Ooh, plot twist. What if it was Kim K?
Ew.
Oh, she would have been DOA.
Oh, right. Beyonce already don't like Kim, so
already
Beyonce
don't like
wouldn't even
her.
have
She don't
Kim
wanna be
in her.
friends.
Kim could even be in Beyonce orbit.
Right. The kids can't even have play dates. That's how bad it is.
Leave your hair alone.
She texted me, I'm sorry, something was falling out.
You
It's
know
a
who
real
you
thing.
remind me of when you swing your hair like that?
Kim K.
No, first of all,
Beyonce?
bitch. No, what is her name? Paula Jai Parker in Friday.
Hey, so
she
tell
said-
me
she
who
said,
she
yeah,
was.
she- Paula Joy.
Joy.
She said, "Where's Craig?"
She said,
Okay, well, tell me who she was.
Where Craig at? That's me. Like, I don't have a Craig though. So, but we're gonna figure out who bit Beyonce. Stay tuned on the
Right,
next episode of
right.
Dragon Ball Z, because I have some fun stuff for us to get into later. I would just like to highlight some Black activities that are just amazing.
Black excellence.
I feel like Black excellence is overused, which is why I didn't say it.
Well, I'm gonna say
yeah, Black goodness. Okay, goodness.
That don't even sound
It's that
right.
goodness gracious. Okay,
We got some
goodness
Black boy
gracious.
joy, some Black boy magic.
Okay, so first of all, Louis Vuitton.
Hey.
Yes, so definitely, God rest his soul. They hired their first Black director. His name is Virgil Abloh. Honey, he is chocolate.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's into, but I'm into it.
Yes.
And so we're just very excited for him, and we'll be just watching to see what happens.
But
Louis
here-
Vuitton
here-
is not a part of my bank account.
I was just gonna
but-
say, here's what the people want to know: having their first Black director,
Will the prices drop?
right? Are y'all gonna drop the price so niggas can buy it?
if they do that, that would be just so niggerish.
Can we get a discount now? Can we get like a family discount?
I have a
like,
question. Is Louis
Virgil is my
Vuitton
brother.
Are they the brand that came out with those old laundry bags and sold them for hella money?
Gucci.
Is Gucci? Okay, never mind.
Ain't nobody need no Gucci
Yeah, it was a
laundry
rip
bag.
off of some of these
I'll get
African
it from
bags.
Ross, $3.99.
Nigerians call them Ghana Muscos.
Yeah.
Lord, I know, I understand.
All I want to know, I just feel like Virgil, you're gonna have to,
But you gonna have to.
you
turn
gotta
it
do
up.
something because we want to support
Let's
you,
talk.
but like I don't buy Louis V, so I can't support you. But
I'm
I'm here in
supporting you from
spirit,
afar.
right?
What if-
In spirit.
What if I buy you Louis V?
Well, of
Well,
course,
if you got it
could
like
buy
that,
it.
turn
Right.
up. We all support.
I just
you.
meant I can't buy it. You could buy it.
Right. I'm
Right.
turning up on your bank account. What's
You
up?
feel me? She. we
as-
can fuck up a check on you.
Right. Oh, a couple of them.
Right.
So in
What's
this
next?
In this edition on mothers who needs their sis whooped.
Ooh, I like that censorship,
so
girl.
This mother from North Carolina, there was a video that surfaced of her toddler child smoking weed.
Right, little girl, little boy, right? It was a
Little boy, and it was
Yeah,
like
he
him
gave
and
her a
hell,
blunt.
he blew out smoke, and so they arrested her. And I was
Yes.
just like, I was just so angry. There's been so many reports, and we'll get to it next week, because we've already had a very heavy episode of like so many mothers that are like getting in trouble about their kids.
Yeah.
A woman killed her kid. Her and her boyfriend are being charged with murder. We'll get into that next week.
Yeah.
That's just a precursor. But I just don't know what's going on right now with mothers and their children. But again, we'll get into it next week. But I would beat the break if I was. And I'm not an advocate for domestic violence. But me as a woman, I would beat the brakes off of her.
Yes.
If I saw your child probably doesn't even know his ABCs, and you're over here putting up videos.
He ain't never gonna know that. He too high. He
Right,
never
he's
gonna
high.
know.
He can't even remember. It
He
messes
ain't
up
never
your
gonna know.
memory.
He ain't
So
never
I'm just
gonna
like
know.
really shook about that. Whatever. I can't. But I do
What?
have positive things. Okay.
Wait, I had something to say.
What do you have to say? Like, go ahead, go weigh in, because I'm into it.
Why are you hogging my mic?
First of all, bitch, you are a guest.
That's,
Okay.
it is her birthday, and you will not flame her like this.
Shout out to my mom.
Right.
Hey, Mom.
Hey. We're dropping her off.
Anyway, I was going to say... What I want to know is why people are just like dry snitching on themselves, and that is just like a millennial thing. Why
everything
are
has to be
you
recorded.
putting some right? Like I get it, and y'all know I love Snapchat. I record a lot of things. Sierra loves Instagram, so she's always on Instagram Live. But it's like if you know you doing some fuck shit, you gonna put that on your Facebook Live? Like that to me just don't make sense. You think the feds is not watching?
Yeah, and you
like
gonna whoop your kids
watching.
and record it. Like, you're corny. That's corny.
How do you think our parents survived, okay? Didn't know don't
Right.
see nothing, don't see nothing, don't say nothing.
What
Right,
happens
and if
in
you
this house stays in this house.
Right,
Like-
and my mom was like, yo, all right, you call the police if you want to. You better not be there when I get home.
You better believe it, or I'm gonna let them take you with them. You could go with the cops when you call them. See ya.
I bet you I ain't never dialed 911 in my house.
Ooh, one
Promise
person
you.
tried that in my house one time.
One time.
Ooh.
And what happened?
One of you?
Oh,
No,
fuck
no.
no.
Oh, there was like
you
the
see
other
my
person.
dad? Oh, hell no.
Yeah, he looked like he would beat the brakes off somebody.
Nigga, he beat the brakes off of him that day. Oh, woo! That I gotta tell you, we're not even gonna say shit.
We're not.
But I have never seen so many beat downs for one child in one day, and it was so pleasant. I got kicked out of the kitchen. Like, first of all, if you can't keep your composure, you have to go.
Right. That is so bad.
Oh, my whole life I grew up just watching people catch fades. Anyway, I'm going to continue. That's neither here nor there.
Trash.
Yeah.
Shout out to our parents. We love y'all for real. We love you for real.
Yeah, hey, them whoopings be working, bro. At the end of the day, my children will be whooped.
You feel me?
Hey, that might not be the first resort, whatever. We'll see.
No, first and only resort. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Old school.
I don't know. Okay, we'll see.
I'm going to send them to Auntie Sierra's house so they could be soft.
Oh, no, they're not going to be soft because I'm like the general. I'm just trying to calm myself because I know I can get crazy.
True.
I already decided I'm sending my kids to your house.
Yeah, they gonna catch
Right.
fades.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay, last week we did give you all an update about Deshaun Horn.
Yeah.
And that very night, because we talked about how he was
smiling, right?
He was smiling. That very night, they actually took out his trach. And he spoke his first words were actually get me out of, or put my leg down, because they were trying to change him and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The nurses were, but they were trying to he wanted to let his leg down.
He said, hey, first of all, put my leg down.
Yeah, he said, let my leg down. Then the next morning, he actually asked for his son. And so that's beautiful because he remembers that he has a son,
right?
Which is great, given the fact that he was beat with an aluminum bat. They had to take out pieces of his brain to stop swelling.
I feel like a piece of his skull, girl, not his
Yeah,
brain.
his skull, or because
you can't really take out
something. I don't know, but they took out some of his parts,
right?
And so he asked for his son. He's been actually talking to his mom, like he's speaking clear sentences now, and he has been able to stand up straight, and he's been walking a little bit. So he's actually really, really trying to get out of the hospital. He's determined to I need to walk. And he's been saying, I need to get out of this bed. So it's actually, I think he's kind of for the staff, they're kind of yeah, we got to watch him because he's trying to walk out of here, which is amazing. So we're so happy for that. I actually spoke to his cousin last week, just encouraging him that we're definitely sending positive thoughts and praying for their family, because it's just amazing just to watch this man transform so quickly. So again, we'll keep you updated. Boom, boom, bow. I have questions.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll let Hadia answer first.
Okay. So how do you get over a breakup after a long relationship?
She doesn't ever really break up with people. So.
Oh.
She just drags them along.
That's not true. I had a serious breakup. I feel he will not be named. That's the one breakup that I never talk about at all. And they say it takes half as long to get over a relationship as it was.
She begs to differ.
Right. So I feel it was problematic for a solid year, and I was upset. You remember that one time in DC? Was it DC or was it Baltimore?
It was DC where you tried to beat the fuck out of a stranger.
Right. I was upset about a breakup, and it happened. Sorry, it happened. So I was a hot mess. I don't know.
She's crazy, you guys.
Yeah, you just kind of got to go through the motions. You gotta like Olivia Pope it. You gotta suffer through it. You gotta Beyonce it. You gotta, what else? Who had a really bad breakup in music? Toni Braxton it. You gotta.
Yeah. Toni Braxton just sings.
Right.
So you trying to fight people?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
she saw the opportunity.
You can't rush through it.
Right. Absolutely not.
It's literally grieving. You have to grieve it, get over it.
It's a death.
Because if you fake it, I was sending hate mail at 1:00 in the morning, and I'm a wordsmith at 2:00 in the morning about how much I hate your ass. Like, what? And I get a large vocabulary. Like, you do not deserve anything but the worst.
Oh, see? Oh, you giving people too much power, girl.
Listen. But you gotta go through it. You gotta let that...
Yeah, you gotta get crazy for a second.
What do they say? Pain deserves to be felt. Or
you gotta feel it. You gotta eat
feel
that.
it. You gotta...
Yeah, I mean, I think what I would say about getting over a breakup is you gotta focus on yourself. Solitude is your friend. Like, after you go through your crazy emotions, after you go through, I'm gonna kick it with my girls every weekend and like turn up, because you got to go through that phase where you just need at least having a girls' night where you just get turned. Like, I remember I went through a breakup, whatever, and my friends were like, no, you're not staying in the house, we're about to just turn up and get food. And you got to have that moment where you just kind of like let it out. Then you have to like rediscover yourself, like really find out who you are without that person. Like, I'm telling, like, people do not, like, some people are so afraid to be by themselves that they do not enjoy their solitude. And the advice that I always give my friends is enjoy your solitude, because there's going to be a point where you do get in a relationship and you don't have solitude anymore because you have a whole other person to worry about. So at that point, you need to rediscover yourself, rediscover what you like, and put some focus on yourself and crush goals, whether that means weight loss, whatever, because you know you be gaining them pounds in your relationship. Like, rediscover yourself, like lose those pounds. Get the revenge body, take a trip, whatever you need to do. And then when you're ready, get back out on the dating scene. When you're ready for somebody to be in your space, but don't rush it. Don't rush your healing.
Unless you just end up trying to see things, get things out of other people that you didn't get with the person you're with.
Yeah.
Here's what I do. Here's what I do.
Okay.
And Matt is yelling at us, so we're gonna tighten up. Here's what I do. I kind of do a combination of all the things that you guys do. Everybody already knows clearly that I'm highly emotional, but I'm highly functional when it comes to being an emotional human being. Highly functional. And so I will feel the feelings, but I'm very, very cut and dry, very hot and cold. So it takes me a while to get to the point where, especially if I'm the person who's going to do the breaking up, it takes me a while to get to that point, right? I have to really think that through, whatever the case may be, and I get to that scenario. And then once I make that choice, or once that choice has been made for me, right? I'm somebody who doesn't like to go back and forth. So you will never see Makeda in a relationship where it's like, oh, they broke up and now they're back together. Or they broke up and now they're back together. I'm not doing that. So if I'm saying like, I'm good. And I won't say that until I really mean it.
You strong.
And so I try to be, because I'm very emotional. And so I take on the weight of everybody else's emotion. So I can't, right. So I can't deal with, being over here and being over here. So either we is or we ain't, right? Or we are or we not.
A Pisces, because
I can't. And so what I like to think about.
But she's like Cancer, which is worse.
Yeah, but Pisces is the most emotional.
You feel me? I'm smart. Okay, I just like to.
All the time.
So I think about the things that I like to think about it logically, like why did we break up, or why did I need to break up with this person? And I like to think about what did I do to contribute to our relationship being ineffective, because I think that's something that a lot of people don't do, is think about what did he do or what did she do.
Right.
And how did I get here because what he did? And I really, really like to put the shoe on the other foot and everything. Like, what did I do to contribute? How did I make this relationship ineffectual? And then figure out what I need to do better and what I need in my next relationship. Like, okay, here's something that I wasn't getting from him, and this is something that I know that I need, and I need to make sure that this is something that my next partner has. And then I will delete and block your ass off of everything. So I'm not saying that I'm just like highly efficient and put together. And so like I still have the moments where I'm like, I want to burn all your shit and fuck your life up and like ruin everything. But then once I'm like, okay, you know what, fuck it, bro. So I do the opposite. I will do all of my grieving and solitude. And then once you see Makeda back on the scene, fucking it up with her friends, that means I don't give a fuck. That means I'm Gucci. And so I don't take me that long.
I've seen her not give a F, and it's kind of scary.
I'm here to ruin everybody's life.
Yeah.
Take all y'all men.
Well, thank you for that.
No big
you ain't
deal.
taking it in mind.
Yeah.
So,
she. I mean, I'll give you your props.
hey, turn up. Okay. And we have
Matt's
one last
yelling at
question
us.
because it's hella funny. Okay. So, would you have relations?
Look at Matt. He's stressed. Matt is stressed.
While your aunt Flo is in town, aka your period, would you have sex on your period?
I call it Shark Week personally.
Stop.
Because you got blood in the water.
Stop. You're not funny. You're not funny.
But I am.
Well, do you? Would you? Have you?
Hypothetically speaking.
She cannot confirm or deny.
I think these things are best done in the shower.
Fact. Well, I don't know that for fact, but I've never done it, so no.
But I've had guys be like, we could just put a towel down.
And you lost your mind. You ain't messing up my good towels.
Y'all ain't never seen those memes of this is a crime scene after the fact.
Right, you
Y'all
ain't
never
running
seen
no red
that?
lights. No, we ain't doing it.
no.
And like, for me, first of all, I think it's gross. There's some guys that don't care, but for me, I barely like want to live when my aunt Flo comes to visit, let alone have somebody like touching me. Like, no, like I just want to sleep until it's over.
You see, and there's some women, and myself included, I'll put myself out here, it's the opposite for me. And I am like ready to get after it the most when it's that time of month, which is why I think
right
like
before or right
no,
after.
the entire time I'm like, well, damn, you mother, like just here ruin my life because that's all I want to do, and that's just what happens. Like that's just how my hormones react or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
everybody has a different.
Right, and so for me, it's just like I wish I could be living my best life, but I can't.
Yeah, because some people like that, but I just feel like there's just too much going on.
Oh no! I went to high school with a guy who only had sex with his girlfriend during Aunt Flo.
So 3 weeks out of the month,
Disgusting.
he was like, no
He
thanks.
he loved it. He was so excited.
Yeah,
every
he
month.
needs help. That's
nasty.
a sociopath.
Oh,
He sounds
needs
like a
help.
killer. Are they married?
We don't yuck.
Oh, sorry.
Well, it doesn't matter.
That is
That's still gross.
Matt trying to bust it open. He trying to bust open
Matt
the treasure
said maybe
chest.
he was cool with it because he didn't have to pull out. If you guys,
Yeah, Martin.
But like,
Matt is over here trying to part the Red Seas, bro. Like, like that's bruh. I think my pain. Where is it at? What is it? My uterus is hurting. What are those things?
your
that hurt?
fallopian tubes.
Sure, one of those is hurting. I think I'm fainting.
But
No.
you know what?
It makes me weak.
You can't yuck anybody else's yum because a guy who likes
anybody
it,
else's yum. That's
Yeah.
it. Got it.
because you like if you like it and you find somebody who does like you're horny and he likes it, like why can't y'all jam?
Like I think
But I
it's
don't
weird
wanna
though.
jam.
Just because I know that like my hormones are like, bitch, let's get after it. I know that I don't actually like the act of doing the thing when it's that time of the month. Like so, just because I feel like it's a time.
Have you tried it?
I cannot confirm or deny whether or not the shower is the best place for this activity. I cannot confirm or
When
deny.
Aunt Flo is in town, can't nobody come visit.
Honestly, and then I've heard
Because
the
you gotta be
argument.
respectful to your aunt.
You do. Shut
Yeah,
up.
go ahead.
Don't look at me like that.
Ooh.
The arguments that I've heard, okay, this is the last thing that I will say personally. The arguments that I've heard for it is that it's not any different than any exchange of like any other bodily fluid.
Yes.
Like there people will argue and say like when you're having sex with someone, you're literally exchanging so many bodily fluids that like this additional bodily fluid is not any different than the exchange of all of these other fluids that you're doing, which I feel like is a fair argument. Still weird.
We're just biased against
personal.
blood. That's all.
But we bias against blood, and if you come to this point in the podcast, drop an eggplant emoji in the comments. If you like dipping your eggplant in red in tomato sauce.
You like if you like Bloody Marys.
If you like Bloody Marys.
Can we alter this a little bit? Because I don't think the majority
It's
of
not
people
that you don't like it. Would you?
Yeah.
Would you, if you like pina colada, getting high in the rain? Is that how the song goes? I don't
Getting
know.
caught in the rain, you
Right.
pothead.
Yeah. Right now. No. Okay. We gotta turn it up and get going because Matt is going to punch us
He's yelling
in the
at us.
arm.
Yeah.
Okay, so drop all the eggplants, and I think there's an emoji for a Bloody Mary, so drop that hoe in there too.
Yikes.
And I'm sure Sierra's gonna take a poll because she likes a poll. But as per
I'm going to.
usual, She's gonna take a look, guys. I shouldn't have said anything. So
Going up tonight.
We've got two. Well, we got one main local lookout, but we gonna do one quick little lookout. We got our our big homie little Hanzo the Phantom. He's dropping a project tomorrow
called Sober as F. And a video is dropping. The entire project has already dropped, I believe, on SoundCloud. So follow him. I think it's Hellfire Q on QUE. On Instagram, follow him. He's a dope rapper, local. He's hustling. So check out his project.
Yeah.
The video's dropping tomorrow. Yep.
Okay. And then our actual factual other local lookout.
That's actual and factual.
Come on, bitch, with the vocals. Adrian, okay, a Slay by Michelle. So she is a makeup artist, okay? And she's all about the chocolate girls in Carmel because, we need love too, all right? And Adrian is a new self-taught makeup artist in the Atlanta area, okay? And she has recently done makeup for up-and-coming female and male actors and models in a few promo shoots and personal headshots. So she is good for creating like glamorous, natural, and creative looks. Wow, I can't read today, you guys. Creative looks for pageants, birthdays, special events, and photo shoots that you may have. And so you can always book her through email or DMs on Instagram. And she has a full YouTube channel, which has lots of easy to follow tutorials where you can get info on new products, learn different techniques, and achieve your perfect look for any occasion. So please don't forget to subscribe and turn on your post notifications to get updates on the new videos every Friday at 12 p.m. on on YouTube, you guys. YouTube channel. Every Friday at 12, she posts new videos. So if you subscribe, you'll get a notification that they're up. So if you want to contact her, wait a minute. Come on, Adrian. Okay, Mia. Adrian.mfrancois@gmail.com. So clearly this is
personal.
Right, this is personal. She me a friend. She me a cousin, okay?
Yeah, so ain't nobody got that
Adrian, ADRIENNE.M.Francois, which is FRANCOIS, because even Mia's last name got to be as bougie as she is, okay?
Right.
At gmail.com. And you can find Adrian on Instagram at _a slay by Michelle _ Okay, and we're looking at her Instagram page.
It's nice.
Yeah, they cute, aren't they? These
cute.
eyebrows is on fleek. This eye makeup is cracking. We live. Matt is yelling at me, but I gotta let the people know that she is slaying and beating these faces down. So before we go, shout out to Hadia for being a guest today. Yay! We're so pleased to have you, and we hope that you had a great birthday today.
I did.
Yes.
Breakfast made by her sister, so
It was good.
But I don't think there's anything else. Oh wait, we had one thing to shout out. What's going on Friday? What did you say?
Friday, so the Emerald City Q's are having a happy hour at Crust and Barrel. What is it called?
I don't know.
It's happening on Friday, I promise you. I'm sorry.
Sarah's looking, but if you live in Denver, really sorry it's not for you. So if you live in Denver, you can feel free to cut the podcast off at this point because it's not for you. I'm really sorry.
Sorry, guys. Love me. I'm sorry. It's just like loading. There's also okay. So there will be a final Fridays. The Emerald City Q's of Omega Sci-Fi will be having at Cask and Trotter. At 6 p.m. They'll be having a happy hour. Check it out. It's always
Cask
a good time.
and Trotter. She said Crust and Barrel. You guys.
Crust and Barrel. Somebody's baby. I
have to go. We're getting out of here. Thanks for tuning in. We love you. We'll see you next week. Okay, bye. See ya.